Hey, welcome back into another episode of Mindset Monday with me, Matt, the lesser half of Two Folk Couple, where I talk to you about life in general, things that have helped me over the last nearly 13 years, not just save my marriage and get sober and stay that way, but become a better man. I've had to learn how to live in this world without substances running my day-to-day, and my goal through these episodes is just to share a little piece of my life in a way that it can inspire you this week as you go on and tackle it. That's why these come out on Monday. I always like to have a good thought for the week, and I hope that I can do that for you. This week's a really fun one, actually. I'm looking forward to this. Talking a lot about what life in sobriety is like and how when we get sober, we think that our lives are over. Like, I thought that I was never going to have fun again. I thought that my life was essentially over. I thought I would never be able to work. How am I ever going to network with customers? How am I going to sell anything ever again? Sex is going to be boring. Vacations are going to suck, and life is going to be dull. But it is anything but that. And I'm going to prove it to you in this episode, talk to you about my experience with this and the experiences of everyone I've come to know who's walked the same journey, and hopefully convince you that you can too. Thanks to SoberLink, the sponsor for today's show. SoberLink has been an amazing sponsor of our show, and we really believe in what they're doing. SoberLink is truly the world's greatest accountability device, and it's more than just a breathalyzer. It's not just that. It would be underselling it so much if I said it's just a breathalyzer. It's really not. If you're someone like me and you're trying to reestablish trust in your relationship and your words have essentially lost meaning, you're going to have to back them with action. It's all about action at this point, and SoberLink is an action that you can take while you sign up for this device that is going to show your loved ones that you mean business this time. It's going to give them an inside look into your life that they've never had. They will no longer have to search for bottles. They will no longer have to smell your breath. They will no longer have to fight with you to use the drugstore breathalyzer that you purchased and that you refuse to use, or you claim the batteries are dead, or you can't find it, whatever it might be. Guys, we're done with that shit. It's time to grow up. It's time to move forward. It's time to take this thing seriously. And it's not just a gift for yourself, because it is going to hold you accountable, because there's a network of people that you set up that get notified every single time you use this thing. So it is going to do something to chain you to this path, because you know that if you use it, they get notified that, hey, there's been a positive result. Every negative result is a drop back into that bucket of trust. It's lost in buckets and it's rebuilt in tiny little droplets, and it takes a long time. SoberLink can help expedite that process, but it's also going to give you some real support. When you come out and you say, hey, I'm struggling, I need to get one of these things, I'm this serious about it this time, you've got people now who are in your corner pulling for you. The people in your life want to see you win. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you beat this thing. Every time you test, you're going to have people that know that you're on the right path, and they're going to shoot you messages and tell you that they're proud of you and tell you to keep going. They're going to offer support. They're going to offer an ear for you to talk to. If in case you don't know where to turn, suddenly you've opened up this circle of support. And that's so valuable, man. So valuable. And it's legit too for family members. I mean, think of it this way. It's got facial recognition technology. It's tamper-proof. You can't screw with this thing. It's amazing. And if you're on the other side of this, let's just say that you're a parent or a spouse or a spouse or partner, and you just want to make sure your kids are safe, they're there for you too. It's court admissible in all 50 states and in Canada, because it's that freaking legit. It's amazing. Trusted by over 200,000 people. It is the gold standard for medical devices for proving sobriety. And since you're an awesome listener of our show, they're going to give you a $100 Visa gift card by going to our website, soberlink.com/wheels. That's our till the wheels fall off special link. Go to soberlink.com/wheels to get $100 on a Visa gift card that you can use toward really anything, the purchase of anything. You can buy your groceries with it, power bill, water bill, Tufo merch, or anything that you want, right? It's for you to use and whatever you want to use it on. There is a monthly plan, but they've decreased the upfront cost because they now offer device rentals. No more upfront costs for as little as $19 a month when you get a 1-year qualifying plan. No more upfront costs. You can get started right away and just rent this thing. $19 a month, guys. The monthly plan cost, which they're going to help you with the Visa gift card. Let's get it started. Let's do this thing. Again, go to soberlink.com/wheels. While you're online, hop over to tufo.com. We should have some new merch up there pretty soon. I'm hoping this week we can get it done. I've still got to take some photographs and stuff like that, but it's ready. It's in the other room. It's going to be awesome. I hope that you guys love it. I think it's awesome. I hope that you will too. You can find out more about us there. We've got a free Facebook community for listeners of the show specifically. I know these episodes are a lot of times for guys that are like me, but we have a special page for spouses and partners. to talk about their journey because it's a lonely place. There's not a lot of support for them. And we've built the community. It's totally free on Facebook. You can find out more about it there. We've also got, speaking of merch, this is a recovery rock. They're really cool. This is a really awesome way to acknowledge the journey someone else has walked with you through sobriety. If you're listeners of the show, it's pretty cool, man. It's got our logo on the front. On the back, it says, "Thank you for being my rock." Because let's be honest, that's what they have been for you, right? I know that my wife was for me. She's always been my rock. That's a really cool way to acknowledge that. A listener at one time gave us this idea. And can't remember his name now, but lives up north. If you're listening, thanks, man. Appreciate that. It's really cool. If I remember something, I'll come back to it. I just want to get this one started. Plus, it's been a long day, man. I've been at the baseball field with my son since 8 a.m. It is now, I just got home about an hour ago. It's 9 now. So we had like a 12-hour day at the fields. They ended up coming in second in the tournament. It was a heartbreaker too, man. Like losing in the last inning, got walked off, but so proud of those kids. It was so much fun to be part of. This episode means a lot. I've talked a lot about some really heavy topics here. I've challenged guys in a lot of different ways to be better and to consider the journey that others have walked or others have been part of, as we have been addicted and struggling, what that does to other people and how repair is really acknowledging that stuff. And it's holding space for that pain while walking forward. And a lot of times these topics are pretty heavy. And I think I lack sometimes on the inspirational stuff. And that's what I wanted to do tonight. I want to talk to you about this. Like, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't fun. I don't just mean the show. I mean like sobriety in general. Like I wouldn't have stuck with it if it wasn't fun. Like if they couldn't have shown me a better path to life, I would have just gone back to what I was doing. Like I'm not just doing this because I needed to do it. Like at this point, I want to do it. Like it's so fulfilling. And I hope that I'm going to be able to articulate without just spacing out, because it's been a long day, how amazing this life truly can be. Because I know in the beginning, it's really, really difficult. I was absolutely terrified when I first got sober. I really did think my life was over. I remember sitting there thinking, holy shit, I'm one of quote unquote those people now. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that people have to act weird around. They don't want to drink around. They don't invite me places anymore. I've got like this scarlet letter that I wear, and everyone is going to treat me differently. And I'm never going to be one of the boys again. People are going to not trust me or like coaching their kids. Like this is going to just be weird. This is always going to be weird. And I fucked it up, and I'm never going to be complete, because another part of me felt like I needed those substances to get through life, because they'd been part of my life for so long, about half my life, up to the point when I got sober. I didn't know what life was like sober. I didn't know how to operate. I didn't know how to go to parties. I didn't know how to go to work sober. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. It was such a part of me. And I think that there's a strange mourning that comes with that. And this is going to sound crazy to someone on the outside. Like if your wife is listening, she's like, what do you mean mourning? Like this is a fucking terrible life. Why would you ever mourn this? Stick with me for a moment. We use for a multitude of reasons. I think the simplest one is that we just want to feel better. That's it. But that's a deeper statement, isn't it, really? Like, we just want to feel better. We'll feel better from what? Anxiety or pain, trauma, uncertainty, the fear of growing up, the fear of responsibility, the feeling that you're not enough, the feeling that life is just black and white without it. And that's the part that I think a lot of people don't understand unless you've been there. And that's why it's so difficult to stop, because it literally becomes part of you. It becomes the only thing in your life that's a guarantee. Like my favorite thing about using drugs and alcohol was the guarantee of it all. Life is brutal sometimes, and there are ups and downs. And if I have to sit there long enough with my own thoughts, then I get depressed and I'm not happy about the direction of my life. And it's really, really painful. But inside of that little orange bottle of pills, man, I found respite from that. I found peace. I found calm. I found belonging. I found warmth and kindness. And inside alcohol too, or any other substance that I picked up. That's why I was doing it, man. I wanted to feel better. I didn't even know what I was trying to feel better from, but it was everything. It was everything. I was struggling in so many ways without realizing it. And drugs and alcohol fit the profile for everything I needed. And at some point, though, it turns on us. At some point, it becomes the reason for all the chaos in our lives. It becomes the reason that we can't grow up. It becomes the reason that we're anxious. And so it kind of turns on itself. Like it works for a little while, and that's why people do it. And then it stops working. And then by the time you realize you need to stop, you can't. You have become physically addicted. Your brain has changed. It responds differently to the substance. And quitting feels absolutely impossible. And that's tough, man, coming to terms with that, okay, I have to give up this thing that has quote unquote worked, because it did at one time, but now it doesn't. And I don't know how to operate in the world sober. I don't know how to be just sober. I cannot be like all of those people. Like, I always felt like there were people who had their shit together and it's like they were meant to be that way. And then there was like people like me. And I always felt like I was right where I belonged. And I thought of myself as a functioning addict or alcoholic because I was able to hold it together for the most part. Like, on the surface, if you didn't know me or Paige well, you would have thought that things were fine. I had a good job and we seemed to have it together on the outside, right? Like, we were a cute couple and we had a little girl and nice little house we lived in and like newer vehicles. And so you would think like, shit, man, these people got it together, but we didn't. And there's so many people like this, and they're walking amongst us every day, these quote unquote functioning alcoholics or functioning drug addicts. You're only functioning to some degree. At some point you stop functioning. It's usually in the parts that matter most. It's being present with your loved ones. It's processing your own emotions from the beginning all the way to the end. It's learning and maturing. It's that stuff. It's learning self-worth. It's learning how to persevere and be resilient. And it becomes torment at some point, and it's so hard to get past. But I found a way. And even if you don't choose my specific path, I want to encourage you that there are various paths to do this thing, but you have to commit to them. And at the root of every single one of them is honesty. And I think at the beginning, we have to admit that our way is not working and we have to try something else. And then we have to hold on to this little shred of belief that if it worked for someone else, then it can work for us. If it worked for him, it could work for me. And then we have this magical thought, man, why not me? Like, why can't I be normal? Why can't I just deal with shit like everyone else seems to deal with shit? Why can't I get through traffic without losing my mind? Why can't I not spiral when I have a big schedule ahead of me this week? Why can't I just hold it together in front of people? You can. You absolutely can. Because I was one of those people that couldn't either. And I'm going to show you what I did. I think in the beginning, though, like, we think that we're going to lose our edge when we get sober. Like, I think that was like, I thought that I was going to be a square. And it's hard for me to say like what a square was in my mind, but I'll do my best here. And I really don't mean to offend anyone if this is like your profile. We all live different lives, okay? This is what it was to me. Like, a square to me was someone that worked a normal job and they were happy with their place in their job. They worked for someone else and they were cool with that, and they accepted their pay, and you know, they went a little extra and they tried to earn their boss's approval, and they would go to church on Sundays and they would go to their kids' games on Saturdays, and they would go shopping as a family together, and like, they lived a normal ass life, like a square life. And that to me in some ways seemed like it was peace. Like, that seemed to me like there was nothing better in the world than that. Than if I could live like that and just be normal, and if I could get myself off of the margins and come back into the center of life where everyone else is safe and protected, then that was everything to me. But at the same time, that was scary to me because I'd always lived life on the margins and I'd always been kind of an extreme personality. So it seemed really effing boring, but like, had to be better than what I was doing. And I'm here to encourage you and to reassure you, I should say, that you can split the difference and you don't have to lose your edge when you get sober. As we will come to see, various features of addiction are not bugs, as a matter of fact. They are features. And I believe that addiction is not a bug, it's a feature. Depends on what you do with it and how you repurpose it. But a lot of the attributes that made you really good at copping dope and telling lies to get what you needed are this very same attributes that are going to make you amazing in anything that you choose to do. So you don't lose your edge when you get sober. You just stop bleeding from the edge. I think that's what I want you to know. We're going to channel that fire into, I guess you used to channel that fire into destruction. Now we're going to channel that fire into something else, A little bit of a merch spoiler right now. That's on the back of our new merch. It says there's a fire inside. And this is part of a poem that I wrote to Paige and our daughter as well. And really to anyone that feels like they need something or someone to bring out the best in them. I just want to remind you that there's a fire inside you. And it is not contingent on anyone or anything. And we are going to use that fire for good. We're going to use it for ourselves. We're going to use it for others. We're going to use it for the people that deserve it. And we're going to use it to walk forward. It will no longer consume us. So we're going to channel this stuff into creation, into your family, into your work, into discipline, into fun, into growth and fitness. And this same energy that used to make you dangerous is now going to make you extremely powerful. And it's a beautiful thing. When I was using, I was just barely functional. And what I mean by that is that I always felt like I had more in me, like to give. And I mean, when I say to give, I mean like to show up for other people. Like I could have always been more involved with family. I could have always been more involved, not just like with my family, but my extended family. I could have been more involved with extracurricular things. I could have been more involved with work and leadership. I could have been more involved in my passions like music and art and things that I really love. Things like I'm doing right now. And I could always find an excuse not to do that shit. It was so easy. Like once the substance entered my body, it's so easy to forget about what you really love in life and just fall back into that comfortable place. And like I was addicted to laziness in a lot of ways. I think that obviously there's a drug addiction. I don't mean to like demean anyone who's struggling to stop a substance. Don't get me wrong. But I think that behind a lot of that was like this fear of trying, because if I were to try, then I'd have to fail sometimes. And I didn't want to do that. And so like there was this huge fear of failure as well. But in the beginning, life was a little bit rocky. I was going through that mourning period that I talked about. And even more than that, I think that I was so lost. Like spouses and partners feel this way too. Like, who am I? I've spent my entire adult life trying to fix this problem, whatever this problem may be, whether that's your loved one or your spouse using, or if you're someone like me, finding purpose or finding meaning or finding a way to get your shit together. And I wanted other people to be proud of me. And like, how am I going to do that? Like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. And I stuck close to what I was told to do whenever I was coming out of like IOP and treatment. They told me to like get involved with the sober community, like start to get around these people, because what you're going to find is that they are not boring people. And I struggle with that in the beginning, because I'd go into meetings and I'm like, these people are fucking lame. Like they're not like me. Like they're older than me. I was young in sobriety. I got sober at 26, 27. So I was young. I was like the kid in the group, you know, and there's old people in there. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like these people have nothing in common with me. Like they seem so boring and everything else. And then I had to remember at some point, like, dude, everyone in here had a problem with the substance because they were like the hardest partier in the room. Like this is a room full of actually pretty awesome people, people that I would have loved to party with. And I have to remember at times that what I'm seeing is just this new version of them that is just down to earth, and they're back to where they belong. And they're not this extreme version of them that I still kind of was in some ways, because I didn't know, like I was still kind of coming out of my old life, right? I didn't have the tools for a new life yet. So I was still like, I felt like such a fraud because I'm sober and stuff, but like I still have all the life experiences and tools that I did when I was using drugs and alcohol every single day. So I just felt like I didn't belong, man. And I didn't know where to start. So I started with getting around other sober people. And you can do this in a multitude of ways. Like I've talked to people that stick to like, you know, traditional 12-step groups, which is a really common and easy way to get involved, whether that's NA or AA or CA or whatever it is that you want to go do. It's great. You're around other people who are kind of struggling at the same time, but you're around a lot of other people who are figuring it out, and they've got a lot of wisdom to share. There are also a lot of online communities that are freaking awesome, man. I've seen them on TikTok all the time. I'll be browsing through my lives and I'll see a group of sober people just talking, and they're just working through issues and they're processing stuff, and they're not working any kind of like curriculum necessarily. They're just like figuring shit out. There's smart communities, smart recovery communities. There's refuge recovery. Those communities. There are a million ways to skin this cat, but I think that something important and inherently all of them is going to be the community aspect of it. That's where I started. That's where I would recommend that you start. Truly, like get around other people who are doing the deal. And then it kind of gets fun, because then you kind of get to pick and choose like what you want your new life to look like. The most obvious thing to me in the beginning was my family. Like I always wanted to be a good dad, man. I wanted to be a good husband, and I wanted to be a good dad. Like at my funeral, if I wanted anything at all, I wanted my kids and my wife to be able to say, like, he was a good man. He was a good man. He was an honest man. He was a sweet, kind, caring man. He wasn't dangerous. He wasn't mean. He wasn't cruel. He was a good man. I felt like that was number one. And so I got really close with the family. And part of that looked like the work that we talk about every week here when we're talking about repair with spouses and partners. And I was walking through my own recovery process, rebuilding things on the home front, man, rebuilding trust and rebuilding, some safety to the household, some stability to the household, because there was none of that in the beginning. Like I got sober and I didn't involve Paige a ton in the beginning. I was like, trust me, I'll figure it out. She put a lot of faith in me. I lucked out in some ways on that deal because that could have gone south quickly, but it worked out for us. And I got involved with the family, man. I started like really being part of my family. Like I was always in the pictures beforehand. You can go back. I don't know if you're friends with us on Facebook or not, but like if you go back and look at photos from like 2012, I'm in those photos, and it looks like you would never know, other than the fact that my eyebrows are like pencils, because I thought that, I don't know, maybe it's the drugs that was a good look. I have no idea what I was thinking. I've got like these really thick caterpillar bushy eyebrows, and I carved them things down to skinnies, man. It was weird, like 2000s girl skinny. It is super weird look. But anyway, other than that, you wouldn't think anything's off. But I started to really rebuild with my wife and with our daughter. I remember planning her birthday party. That was really fun. Her first birthday party. I was sober there for that. I was part of the planning process for it. I was there and I was clean, and it felt so good just to be like normal. And what's cool about these little events as you start to get involved with your family again is every time you do it sober, like you're going to be so proud of yourself. You're going to have so much pride that you did that thing sober. And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal to most people, but it's such a big deal. And I am proud of you. If you're doing this stuff right now, I'm so proud of you. Get involved. You're not going to be perfect, but you have to start somewhere. Just be involved. Be involved, man. Be a participant in your life and your relationship. Get involved around the house, man. If you see someone struggling with something, help out. If you see your wife struggling with whatever she's got going on, help out. Lend a hand. If you see your kid struggling, get involved. Lend a hand. Like, don't over insert yourself. Like, on this show, I've never been the beat my chest, like gorilla alpha male dude. It's like, I'm head of the household. Never, man. Never. We do this thing as a team. We take turns leading. And it was like in the beginning, I needed to give her a break. And so I took on a lot of stuff, and over years, I took on more and more and more. And then I think I started to work on my career. Career was the next big one. I had done well in business, but I had done well with like using a quarter of my brain. And then I got excited. Like, what could I actually do with this company if I actually put forth like 100% of my effort? Like, what would that actually look like? And we're successful. We're a good company. We're a really good company. Not just from a financial aspect, but from I think people aspect and culture aspect, and considering what we've had to work with. I'm really, really proud of the things that we do there every single day. We've got some processes in our company and we're a small business that you don't see in our competitors that are billions and billions of dollars, because we're really good at what we do. We've got some awesome people, really smart people, and I fortunately get to be part of that and lead those people. And it's been amazing. I love people, I've come to find. I was always kind of scared of them, intimidated, I guess, but I really love people. And I found that out in sobriety. And then I got to figure out stuff that I like to do. This is like where it gets fun. All that time that you spent doing all the shit that you used to do, it gets to be redirected now. And some of it is going to be used on things that are just fun for you. You're going to be able to invest in hobbies and passions again. And like again, your family, your career, more important, but you also need some time for you. So I think that when I got sober in the very beginning, I couldn't see what the light at the end of the tunnel even was. I remember thinking like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, this is like, you always hear about people who get sober and like they pick up some weird hobby. I didn't even know what mine was going to be. I had no idea. A lot of people go the fitness route, which is pretty good because you get to use a lot of that pent up energy and that anxiety, and you get to take it out, or the anger, and you get to take it out somewhere productive in the gym. And that was a big one for me early on. A lot of people will choose another passion, like if it's art or something you used to do, like music. If it's something like creating, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you want to come up with ideas for businesses and build businesses. I've seen people get into woodworking, which is really cool. Like a good friend of mine got into woodworking, just like making art for people's houses, like wooden signs and things like that. Then he went on to make like insane, like Norwegian furniture. And now he's doing baseball bats and like all kinds of stuff. Like just such cool, talented people. I've been going to treatment centers and volunteering time for almost 12 years now. And I've met so many talented people in there. I've met artists, I've met doctors, I've met lawyers, I've met philosophers, I've met entrepreneurs, nurses, and you name it, man. Just teachers, amazing people with amazing ideas. And once we get free of this thing, we open up so many amazing avenues to really experience and enjoy life. So I'm going to walk you through just some of the things I did in the first like handful of years I got sober and like what my life looked like and then what I did to change that. Maybe it'll spur something in you and give you an idea. And maybe at the end of this, you still don't know where to start, but I promise you, you will find something. You will find something. So the first thing I did when I got sober was I got my wife pregnant, which I would not advise, y'all. That is, in hindsight, a rather dangerous venture for someone in early recovery to get someone pregnant, because early recovery is a very difficult time. And for a lot of people, it's a process of learning more and more, and you have a slip here and there, and it's still a very rocky time. Luckily, I didn't have any, and so it worked out. But investing in the family, I guess you could say. I invested in the family, all right, made some deposits, haha. But that was gross. But anyway, it was something we didn't necessarily plan on, but it happened, and it kind of forced me to really get my shit together. Man, that was a fun one. That was like year one. We bought our new house. It was because we could afford one because we were always broke because I was spending all of our money on drugs and alcohol. And I was like, oh my God, like we actually make enough money to buy a house. Like Paige was like, yeah, I've been telling you this shit for years, asking you where this money's been going and told you we need to buy a house. And we were able to buy a house. It was different economic conditions, 13 years ago. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we could afford our house today if we had to go buy it, but it will open up avenues so that you can give your family a nice place to live. I can promise you that. Parties sober, man. I went to a ton of parties completely sober. And I was always scared that I was going to like lose my edge. Like I was always like the class clown kid. And I did that because I never wanted to take life seriously. And I thought and I wanted people to like me. So if I could make them laugh, then people would like me. And I wouldn't be looked at as a failure whenever I came up short because the funny kid, I'm just funny and lovable. I just wanted to be funny and lovable. And I thought that I would lose some of that when I got sober because I just didn't know how to be funny as an adult. I didn't know how to like be charismatic. I didn't know how to connect with people. And I'll never forget, we went to a Halloween party when I was like a year and a half sober or something like that. And I won best costume and I was like the life of the party, man. I was dancing around and having a great time and joking around and messing with people. And I had so much fun. And I was so proud of myself after that. Like I did it sober. I went to a ton of parties and like I hung out with people and it was fun. Now, use your best judgment here. You know at what point in your recovery that you're comfortable being around substances and stuff. So if they're around and it's too triggering, maybe you start smaller than that. Maybe you hit some dinner events with people. Maybe you just hang out with friends. Maybe you go to a Bible study. Maybe you go to, grab some coffee with some people in recovery. Maybe you start really small and then maybe you just start, going out with like trusted friends that are supportive of your recovery and they wouldn't let you try anything stupid. And then you work your way up to parties, but like you're going to go to parties and you're going to have a fucking great time and you're going to remember every bit of it. And it's going to be awesome. It's a different kind of party though, because they don't last as long. Usually I'm good at parties for about 3 to 4 hours. And after that, it's time to go home. I'm tired. Like I don't need to stay out all night. And that's actually great. You don't wake up hungover. You wake up like ready to go. And that's a great feeling. I got into fitness heavy, like about a year sober, because I gained so much weight sober. My first year sober, I gained 80 pounds. I was huge. I was like 240 pounds. Yeah, 240 pounds. I checked into treatment at 160. And after a year, I was 240. And I was miserable, man. I was buying men's Spanx because my man boobs have gotten so out of control. I didn't know what to do. And so I knew I needed to get into fitness. And I started with group fitness. Like it was CrossFit, but there's a bunch of different versions of that now. But I think community fitness is really, really awesome. Like you'll meet some of the most supportive people in the entire world in those places. I had made friends there that I'm still friends with today, like decade plus later. And it gave me a self-esteem boost that I really needed at the time. In recovery, like I said, like we use for a multitude of reasons, but having a great self-esteem is not one of the reasons that we use. It's usually because we have a really bad self-esteem. And I needed to feel good about myself. And fitness made me feel good about myself. It also gave me a really healthy outlet for stress and anxiety because I had a shitload of it in that first year, especially. First year of recovery, guys, is rough. First 9 months, especially rough. Just want to be honest with you. Your brain's doing a lot of healing. You're learning tools. You're learning how to process stuff. You're going through things. You're screwing stuff up. And it's tough. And you're going to need an outlet for that stuff. I would recommend fitness to anyone. It is good for you. It is a great outlet. It gives you a bit of purpose. It gives you community. And that's awesome. I plan family vacations now. Like I did this probably a year or two sober. Like I'd never gone on a family vacation that I wasn't dragged on. My wife had always planned everything and I just showed up. I planned us a trip to Yellowstone. We went to the Tetons and we went to Yellowstone. We did some hikes, like hiked the mountain. We saw the park and man, I booked snowboard trips. Like I've actually like been a participant in like our family events and family outings. And that stuff has been really, really fun. Snowboarding was the most fun I've ever had on this planet. Dude, we live in Texas. And so there's obviously nothing here, but like one of these days I will live on a mountain and that's what I will do. It is the most fun I've ever had. Like talk about being present. You cannot not be present when you're flying down a mountain at like 40 miles an hour. It is so much fun. So much fun, man. I did longboarding because obviously no snow, but we do have concrete. I longboarded. I bought a drift trike. So it's like a tricycle, like the 3-wheel tricycles we used to ride, like the big wheel in the front, but it's got a motor on the back and it's got these like rubber wheels, but they're like plastic sleeves over it. And so you could take this thing around corners and like drift around corners and stuff. I bought this thing off Facebook Marketplace cheap, but I was like coming back to life, like doing shit that I had done when I was younger. Like I was always a go-getter. I was an athlete. I was kind of a class clown. And I thought when I got sober, I would lose that. I didn't lose my edge at all, guys. Like it is still very much present. I keep my wife on her toes. Practical jokes are one of my favorite things ever. Anyone who's friends with me just about has received a glitter bomb at some point because I just think it's fucking hilarious to think that your friend has to vacuum up tiny, fine glitter. It's just funny to me to think that, oh, look, someone sent me mail. Poof, glitter. I love that. I love doing shit like that to people. I've sent people, like there's a website you can go to that will send people like animal poop, like elephants and stuff, like exotic animals. And I will just mail that to people every so often. Man, I love messing with people. Dude, I drove down to Dallas and I duct taped my friend's car door shut. We were college roommates and like just laughed about the fact that he would have to wake up the next morning and mess with that. And he said, and I hadn't seen him in like probably 6 months at this point, but he said as soon as he went out to his car, like he knew it was me. Like I don't know, man. Like I'm in a lot of ways. I saw this meme the other day and it's so encompassing of me is that I am an adult in the same way that a tomato is a fruit. And I hope that some of your recovery has that same vibe to it because life is fun and don't forget it. And just because you've grown up doesn't mean that you have to like grow up. Like you can still be fun. You can still cut up. You can still be the life at the party. You can still do all this stuff, man. I've gotten tattoos in recovery. Dude, someone asked me to officiate their wedding. Can you believe that shit? Someone asked me to officiate a wedding. And that was an honor. That was really fun. I played music in high school. Like I had a band in high school, like a punk band. And I gave that up in recovery. I'm not in recovery. And when I was in addiction, I didn't play anything. I didn't have any creative outlets. I never felt like playing. I picked up my guitar. I started writing music again. I would record myself playing music and I would like edit it. And like, I had fun with it again. And I bought more instruments and man, it's been a hell of a time, like getting back into that. I decided that I would get into sneakers at some point. I don't know why. Like sneakers were always something that were like, I always loved the thought of, but I never had the money for. And I got really like in sneakers. And I, at one time, had probably 200 pair. I probably have like 100 now, but I'm a sneaker collector. I love sneakers so much. And it's like it's a fun, childish hobby to have as an adult. It's really fun, man. It's just fun. Like, just the hunt itself is fun. And I think as a drug addict, you can probably understand, like, you're always having to chase something and like search for something, and like searching for a rare, if you're a collector of some kind, is like, it kind of gives you the itches that same, or scratches that same itch. And that's been a lot of fun. Man, this one time I started, like, I don't remember why I had the idea, but you know those like crazy like Christmas and holiday suits that people will wear? They're like suits you would wear to like work or like a funeral, but they look like wrapping paper. I was on that train really early. And for Christmas and holidays, I would wear those to work, and I would bring gift cards and I would like pass them out to people. And then I saw this funny video about this dance movement in Mexico called tribal, like 3BAL. And I decided to buy some of the cowboy boots that these guys wore. I'll actually show the camera. I've got some right here. I bought these crazy ass boots. Can y'all see the toe on that thing? Look at this thing. Look at this crazy ass boot. I bought this thing and I wore these to work. I just thought it would be funny, man. And so like people see their boss walk in with those on, and like that shit was just fun to me, and like kind of related to sneakers. But I started a sneaker group like online, and I was an admin of that. Like I was in charge of it. And like I created merch for it, and like we had drops for merch. I was an investor in a resale sneaker shop for a little while. Built a YouTube channel. If you didn't know, I was on YouTube before with a friend of mine, and we had a sneaker YouTube channel. That was really, really fun. Just creative outlets, like doing something like that. It was a good time. In a lot of ways, it was kind of a prerequisite to what we do here. Built businesses. Like that's been a fun thing to do, to be able to like, I guess, have the wherewithal to use your brain for something good. What else have I done here? I'm reading down this list. Oh, dude, I'll go to water parks and I'll ride every effing ride in that place. Every single one. Like, life is no less fun. I just give myself permission to be corny now, and it's a hell of a lot of fun, man. I've gotten to coach my children's teams, like something I truly love doing. Like, love being part of young kids' lives. I love it. There's nothing more I love, and it's not even like the technical piece of the game. That stuff is less fun to me than like the mental piece, and I guess you could say the spiritual piece of it, like how you make peace with failure. The resiliency, the perseverance, like that shit. Oh man, I love being able to help kids and teach them lessons through sports that I learned in other ways. And that's been amazing. I've built a life. I have laughed my ass off. Like I have not lost my edge whatsoever. I have not lost my edge, man. I've had so much fun. And now look what we do, like we have a podcast. Like this is part of the stuff that you get to do. Like I'm just like you, listener, just like you. And I think that spouses and partners have a really interesting opportunity here. I've been talking to people like me here, but if you're a spouse or a partner listening to this, like you get to do the same thing in your recovery. You get to do the same stuff. You can stop focusing on that shit and start focusing on this. Doesn't mean you don't hold your boundaries. Doesn't mean you don't, use the tools that you learn to get you to where you are. But we get to live life now. Like we work recovery so we can get our lives back, but we still have to work our recovery, if that makes sense. But I think what's really interesting about this is I mentioned in the beginning that like addiction, the traits of addiction are not a bug. They are a feature. Let's think about the traits of addiction real quick. Intensity, right? Addicts feel so deeply. Like when they love hard. And when they chase something, they chase it to the end of the earth. And that intensity can destroy. It can absolutely destroy when it's used in the wrong things. But in recovery, it's actually your superpower. That intensity, like you have no idea what you can do when you channel that into building instead of destroying things. It has been my experience that nobody can keep up with the intensity at which I work. Nobody. Other people that I work with need a break. I don't need a break. I know what intensity is. I've got this thing inside of me that's nonstop, like the Energizer Bunny. And now I use it for good. That little thing that used to drive me and drive my addiction didn't go away. I just found a way to repurpose it. It is a beautiful part of me that I cherish. I know it can be used for good or for bad, and I choose to use it for good today once I learn the tools. But it's been amazing. You can channel that into your business, your job, your family, your relationships, your workouts, like whatever. It's not about turning the volume down. It's just about changing the frequency of that sound, I guess you could say. Like, you don't have to become like this boring ass monk to be sober. You just have to point that fire somewhere else other than yourself. Okay. Don't lose your intensity, guys. It doesn't go away. Just use it for good. Use it for good. And this is the same thing with obsession. If addiction teaches us anything, it's how to obsess over something, right? Our brains are just wired to obsess over this one thing. Imagine if you could channel that obsession as something productive. Like when I was addicted, I knew how to scheme with the best of them. I knew how to plan. Like I could look at my supply of whatever I had, and I could like budget and plan and think about what lies I had to tell to get to downtown Dallas so that I could cop and then get back here. And dude, you're using parts of your brain that are pretty creative, but in the wrong fucking way, in a very destructive, nasty way that hurts other people. I could always find a way to get what I wanted. Always. I was extremely selfish, and I was using it for my own personal gain. And I didn't care what the obstacle was. Like, people in addiction are very high agency. We've talked about high agency on this episode, on our show before, and you should go back and listen to those episodes. I think it is a 2-parter. Talked about high agency. Go to hijagency.com and read the work of George Mack. He's written some amazing things about high agency, what it means to be high agency, high motor people. We are born with this drive, man, and we've used it for the wrong things. Now it's time to use it for the right things. Let that same obsession be applied toward your goals. I think you can be the most disciplined person in the room because you are so obsessed with your goal, whatever it is that you want. If that's your marriage restored, if that's sobriety in itself, if that's building a business, if that's whatever it is, like, you are going to be the best at it because you know how to obsess and stick to something like no one else does. People are not going to be able to keep up with you. They are not going to be able to keep up with you. I was talking to a friend the other day. He's a business owner. He's been in recovery for 15 years. Me and him work and volunteer and stuff like that. And we talk about recovery and stuff. And we talked about business. And I think that we were talking about the pace at which we work, the standards which we have for hard work, and how no one around us can keep up. And we have to be careful sometimes to not drive other people away because we are so obsessive and we're so intense, man. And we're successful because of it. But you have to be careful with that, right? Because applied toward the wrong thing, like we've been using it on, it can also be extremely self-destructive. But you can use that obsession, man, in a bunch of beautiful ways. Like, I used to chase that next fix, that next high, and I always was, if there was dope in the area, I could sniff it out every single time. Every single freaking time. Just if you can chase your next high with that much focus, imagine what you could do for more productive ventures in your life. It's just amazing. Risk taking is another kind of inherent piece that's built into addiction. And with risk taking, this can be very bad because some people will get sober and they decide, hey, I'm going to gamble. That's not using drugs. That's not what I mean here. That's not what I mean at all. Addiction is reckless, right? It's reckless risk taking. There is also non-reckless or calculated risk taking. You've been dancing with death for far too long. Okay, let's dial it back a little bit and think of a way to repurpose that. I want you to think of it more as courage and start taking healthy risks in life. Start a business. I know a lot of people who get sober and decide, I'm going to start a business, or start repairing relationships. Start repairing your body and your physical health. Start speaking the truth. These things are all kind of risky. They really are. Like, it is risky to walk the path of repairing a relationship because in being upfront about things, you could also destroy that very same relationship. But we've talked about this before. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it on the right grounds, right? It has to be on solid footing, which is honesty, which is truth. And that is a risky venture. Like, you've already survived death. You've already survived the worst case scenario, basically. Everything after that is an opportunity. Guys, if you are sober today, you are playing with house money. We're playing with house money. There's really is no more risks for us. Like at this point, every day is a gift and we're playing with their money. This is house money. We can do anything we want with it. We can't lose. We can use that same attitude toward amazing things, productive things. Like once again, this is another feature of addiction. This is not a bug. You are not broken. You've just been using it in the wrong way. I think that charm and adaptability have something to be said here. I think that we used to use our quote unquote charm for the wrong reasons. We used to manipulate people. We knew how to turn on the charm. All of you do. I know that you're sitting here grinning because you know what I mean by that. You could get whatever you wanted from people by lying to them and doing things for the wrong reasons. Let's use it for good. Like, I think that people in addiction have this amazing and uncanny ability to read a room and read people and adapt better than most people for the most part. And it's kind of like part of your survival. It's baked into addiction and being an addict and having to manipulate in service of that addiction. But that same adaptability, when grounded in truth and honesty, becomes emotional intelligence. You can use it for good, guys. You can use it to connect with people. You can use it to connect with people for the right reasons, because you want to get to know them, because you want to serve them, because you want to help them, because you want to support them for all the right reasons, right? Not to exploit people. So use that gift to mentor people. Use that gift to motivate other people. Use that gift to be a teacher. I think people who've recovered from addiction have such a unique opportunity to find purpose in life. I really do, man. And you can use that same charisma that got you someone to, that got someone to lend you money when they shouldn't have. You can use that to raise money for a charity, to, start a foundation, to support other people that are going through the same thing, to support families who've been touched by addiction. You can do all sorts of amazing things. You can connect with your freaking kids, connect with your spouse. You can rebuild trust. Like those same instincts that once manipulated can now inspire people. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's not manipulation when the motive is love, right? My motive is to connect with you because I love you and I want to get to know you better. Use it for the right reasons, man. It's beautiful. And I think that resilience, it goes unsaid that people who struggle with addiction are incredibly resilient. We can take an ass beating like nobody else and come back ready to go again. A lot of that, again, it's your brain's out of control and you're responding in service of the addiction a lot of the times, but you have built resilience. Like every time life has ever tested you, you figured out a way to fight through it. And people in recovery do the same thing. It didn't disappear. You were not going to lose your edge. You were still going to be one of the most resilient people in the world. In fact, more resilient now, because you know what it's like to be nearly dead. Now you're playing with house money. What are you going to do when you're alive? Be resilient, man. You've also got a huge emotional range. I think that this is like early recovery, maybe not so much because you don't have those tools for connection yet, but addiction cracks people open and it exposes you in so many ways. And part of recovery is confronting your pain and your shame and your anger and your guilt and the things that you love and the things that you hate and gratitude, like all these emotions. You have this vast range of emotions where like the average person isn't thinking that deeply about this shit because they haven't had to confront those parts of themselves. Alan De Botton was on Modern Wisdom recently, and he was talking about the best men in the world are those that have been broken and come back from that. They are the best men. They are the most humble men. They have the most humility. They're the kindest. They're the most gentle. They're the most emotionally mature because you know what it's like to be on the other side of that. You know what the worst looks like. And now you get to walk forward and it's like you're playing with house money and it's a blessing. And every day is filled with gratitude. And like the emotional range that you develop as a result of that is going to be so beneficial, man. So beneficial. So I think that addiction energy without focus is so destructive, but in recovery, you can use it for beautiful things and your life is not going to be boring. Guys, I have more passion, more satisfaction, more love in my life than I've ever had. I am more fun to be around than I've ever been before. I am more comfortable in my own skin without needing anything or anyone to tell me that I'm enough than I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm sober doing it. And I'm not special. I'm a dipshit. If I figured it out, literally anyone can figure this out. I promise you that. I am not unique in that. I need you to have that thought, why not me? If that guy figured it out, then why not me? Like, recovery is, we're just taking that fire and we're giving it direction, guys. There is a fire inside of you that is burning hot. Let's use it towards something useful. Let's use it towards something beautiful. Let's use it towards something to build, not destroy. The goal, I think, in recovery isn't to get rid of your addictive traits necessarily. It's to get rid of your defective traits, the ones that are destructive. But those same tools can be used for good, man. And I've used every single one of them in some way. Like Paige will tell you, like, I'm still in so many ways the same guy that she was when she met me. And even through addiction, like some of those same things are there, but there's a different flavor to them now. They're sweeter now. They're not sour anymore. They're not spicy. They're more gentle, man. But like, I'm still me. And like, you're still going to be you, but better, a better version. In the beginning, it's tough, but please stick with it. It does get better. I promise you that. You are not going to be some square, boring dude that no one wants to be around in recovery. You are going to be someone that people want to be around. You've just got to be willing to get there. You've got to be willing to tear down what was and figure out what is. And you've got to be willing to explore those parts of you that you never have, man. And it's not as bad as you think. I promise you it's not. Like if you're scared that you're going to be boring without the chaos, you are going to prove yourself wrong. I promise you that. Like go do something spontaneous. Go live your freaking life. Go enjoy it. Go take a deep breath of fresh air and feel that air fill your lungs and feel that you are alive. Lift heavy shit. Take your kids camping. Like build something with your hands. Like go live, man. Go live. Let the world see that the spark inside of you didn't die. It just stopped burning where it didn't belong. I think that there's so much to be optimistic about in recovery, and there's so little to be scared about, but I know what it feels like to be scared. I just want to reassure you that you have nothing to fear. The best days of your life lie just ahead. So stick with it. And I think that this message, I hope that for spouses and partners that have been listening to this, that you can see a semblance of your own recovery in this, because my messages are always kind of go for both people. I think that we think the same thing. Our spouses and partners say I'm not, but spouses and partners feel the same way. They think that their lives are ruined because you had a plan and now it's ruined, and you grieve that old life for quite some time, but then you discover a new one. And no matter what that looks like, your marriage may look different. You may not be married at all, but the sun will shine again and you will be happy. I promise you that. And I know thousands of people that will tell you otherwise if you don't believe me. And I'd be happy to get in touch with those. I'd be happy to get you in touch with them. I really would. Because I don't want you to feel like it's hopeless. I never want anyone to feel like it's hopeless, because it's not hopeless. It's not. It's not. There's a beautiful life ahead, guys, and I can't wait to see what you do with it. For any of you that have heard this episode and you want to suggest maybe another one, you can do that by going to the episode description. You can text us and it'll let us know, like, hey, this person's got an episode suggestion. If you want to shoot us an email, info@twofocouple.com. I would love to hear how your journey of recovery you've repurposed some of these traits. Like spouses and partners, all the stuff that you guys do is repurposed in other ways too. The hypervigilance, the awareness, and all that stuff can be used for good as well, believe it or not. It's kind of part of who you are, right? It's just not going to be destructive anymore. It's going to be beautiful. So I'd love to hear how you're doing this. I want to hear from you guys. So shoot me an email. I will read it. I promise you that. And I appreciate everyone that writes in. I can't thank you guys enough for listening. Until next time, that's all I got. I'm Matt, and I'll see you.